Welcome to the green room where we play our tunes and chat with Freya and Simon. You'll find out where your favorite bands are at.
Welcome to the Green Room Sessions. My name's Simon.
And I'm Freya.
And we're joined today by the wonderful Novustory from
Wonderful.
our native land of Manchester.
Wonderful.
We're wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Would you guys like to introduce yourself and your role in the band?
Go ahead. You can start.
Where do I have to start?
Because you're on that side. There's clearly a
we
system.
do normally go that way.
I mean,
actually,
whichever way you guys
but,
want to, you know.
If you
Well,
want to start.
I'm Chris and I'm the bass player.
I'm Imogen and I'm the singer.
I'm Ben and I'm the guitarist, and we also have James.
James is our drummer and he'll be with us soon. So yeah.
Hopefully.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, do you want to tell us a bit about how you started? When you started? Was
Well,
it
you have to lead with that because we weren't there.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh yeah, so you've had a bit of a shift around, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
well,
it 2015 when you started?
So basically, James contacted.
First form.
Pardon. Yeah, James contacted my uni looking for singers, and it was
Oh,
him
right.
and a guitarist and a bassist, and then they found me. We did auditions and all that, and then we just gelled really well. Bassist left, and we decided, all right, well, we can't find a reliable bass player, so we'll just track bass, and then we'll play to a click live. So we did that for ages, and then our old guitarist wanted to do other things, wasn't that like we've always been like, we want this to be our career, like we want to make a big go of it, like, and the only way we're gonna make a job out of it is if we start treating it like a job straight away. So and he wasn't kind of on the same page as us, so Ben came and joined the band instead, and then we carried on using bass as on backing track.
Because it's
And
not
then-
a real instrument, let's be honest.
I played it, didn't I, once?
You did once,
Oh,
yeah.
did you?
Once?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
How
played
did that
some
go?
root notes, and you're like, I want to buy a bass
I
now.
want a bass guitar.
Oh my god.
I'll have none of that.
Well,
I play the root notes.
I know a good teacher. If,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's time for a word from our sponsor.
Well, basically, me and James were at a gig, and we saw Chris play. And we were like, oh my god, he's awesome. We were playing guitar though. I know, I'm just stroking his ego now. But then we went to another gig a couple of weeks later, and he was there again, but he was on bass this time, and we were like, this guy plays bass. So then I would just jokingly said oh, you play bass? Would you fancy another band? Added him on Facebook because I'm a creep. And then we put out a post saying looking for a bass player, and then we had quite a lot of people get in touch, but he was kind of the only one.
nobody fit the grade, did
He
they?
was kind of the only one that auditioned, and he did the world's worst audition.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Just couldn't play our songs.
Couldn't play bass, really.
Absolutely annihilated the audition, but we spent about 2 hours just laughing about Rick and Morty and
that's
IT
great.
Crowd.
I think he was on the same wavelength
Yeah.
as us.
You
and he
need
was
someone
kind of-
more that you can gel with,
Yeah.
and you can always work on the technical stuff
Yeah.
later.
Exactly,
on.
but
Yeah.
the instrument can
The
be
banter
taught.
was there, so
That's my career over as a session musician. Cheers, guys. Literally shot me down there. It was rubbish.
Great bands then, you're both in a session
At
musician.
least you look good on stage as well.
Oh, clearly good to know style over substance and all that. It is only bass.
All
let's
again, no
remember that.
idea.
all the kids.
Let's be honest, turn it down anyway on stage.
Yeah, exactly. Turn it off.
Can't hear it.
You idiots think I play.
Yeah, we still use the box.
You still use the. I'm miming. Yeah. Come see us on tour.
Oh dear. Oh, that's fun. That's a nice way of getting together.
But yeah, to conclude, however much abuse we're giving him, it's kind of now we've gone from being just kind of a part-timey band to let's go for this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then the more effort you put in, the more you get out of it, and the more time and effort and money we've been spending, the more it's just like everything's kind of slotted into place. We're getting more things offered, and it's just
you're doing really well.
think
And you've got really good. You can see that you're working hard as well because you've got a really good like presence on social media. Like post every day, you know, and it's like good content.
You do well with that.
yeah.
It's good to get like that's how I, you know, discovered you. It was just like something that popped up on my social media once. It must have been, you know, like if like a lot of your friends like something. And I've got a lot of musician friends on my Facebook, and I was just like, "Ooh, these look cool. They're really good."
Yay.
So thank you. So that is really working well for you. You know, pushing all like your content out. You're going to reach a lot of people.
It's nice to be aware of your own growth as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I know from being in a band in the past, sometimes it just feels like you're smacking your head against a brick wall constantly before you make any headway. But then slowly it does start to come once you
Well, I
get
think
to
it
some
was
level.
after you two left uni. You and James.
Yeah.
I think that's when it was like.
That was it. It was
You just got more free time, haven't you?
Yeah.
You have more
free
free time,
now.
but you researched it a heck of a lot
It's
more.
time consuming. Just thinking up like posts that are going to keep people engaged. It's like we don't want to just put posts out where we're just like big things coming soon, or like just the standard stuff that bands put where you just like. You don't want to say like who cares, but it's kind of just like give your fans like you want people to invest in you.
Talking about
buy merch, buy tickets, come to your shows, spend the time and the hard-earned money on your product. But all you can give people is just like a 10-second post. It's like when we've
post once a month.
and it's like basically at the moment I kind of schedule like to try and keep people engaged and to like keep people informed of the things we're doing is kind of 4 times a week, 5 times a week. And if I write a post, for instance, I'll put it in the group chat. We'll all spell check it, grammar check it. We'll add bits, take bits away.
Like an actual office, isn't
I know, it's like
No, it really
that
is.
chat is going every single day with
all
something.
day, every day, ideas.
proper business.
All day, every day.
Because you were in that chat is going all day, but it is just pizza.
Very productive, yeah.
And then we have to have a separate chat just to post it like
We did that. We had a serious band chat and then a jokey one. And the things we needed to like find or scroll up, be like, oh yeah, we need to know when these dates are. So I put it on the serious one.
I didn't like you
we
when
have-
you
we
were
have
in
the
the band,
calendar
though.
for
You never
dates,
spoke
don't we?
to me. You were
Don't
either
we,
in the
guys?
serious chat or the joking chat, and I never got to chat to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a domestic going on? This podcast?
Yeah.
I was trying to warn you.
Do your own episodes.
Right, to veer
Freya.
back onto track.
Yeah, we need to.
I was going to say, just with the social media, even when you were in Glasgow over New Year doing a gig, and we wanted to do a post, and you were like, "Can you write?" And we flipped it as like I wrote it, sent it to you.
Yeah.
You checked it, the band checked it, and then it gets posted. It's like, you know, thinking about it, we are actually a very organised band.
Yeah, we've got a good team going.
Well,
So
it
it's like-
shows, like, honestly, like you can really tell.
I think once you've delegated, because if there's just like one person doing all the tasks,
Doesn't
there
work.
ends up with
Yeah.
like you end up like hostility because it's just like. What's the word? Resentment, because you're like, I'm doing everything and we're all supposed to be. Whereas it's like, because, so it's like, at one point I was a little bit like that, and then these guys were just like, just ask for help. And then now it's like, you'll say, do you want me to email this person? I'll be like, yeah. And then you'll be like, shall I take over that? I'll be like, yeah. And then it's like, now that we've all got our separate jobs, everyone does like equal amounts of work, and then it means that no one's feeling resentment and lots more gets
just
done.
get more done.
Exactly.
Yeah, just get more
And we
done.
can kind of keep on the ball then.
We are
being in a
we
band.
are a little business and everything, aren't we?
This
Crazy.
is good advice.
Yeah. I mean, it's like little things like we're constantly trying to streamline being in a band and go, how can we make it so that this is sustainable? So it's things like merch. Like it's like last time we did a merch run, I think we spent $1,000, and that was on something like 50 hoodies, 50 shirts, wristbands,
Your standard
and,
merch run.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you start, but it was like we
Various
wanted
sizes.
top quality, all the colours.
Yeah.
Like why give you fans bleep when you could give them a good product? So we were just like, so we've gone like, well, what can we do? Is there any way we can do this ourselves? Like in my spare time, can I make merch? And then we looked into the different options. It was like, right, well, screen printing takes ages to do like one.
You can only do one at a time.
You can do one, or you can do 4 at a time, but it still takes ages. And then it was like, right, well, vinyl printing, you're limited with your colours and it takes ages. And then it was like all these different options that either took absolutely, I'm not going to say it again, but take a long time, or are just really cheap tat. And it was like, right, well, what about a direct-to-garment printer? And that's basically a proper, like, ink printer that, do you know, like the top you've got on now?
Yeah.
But it's like you've got multiple colours. You're not limited to colours or anything. and it's good quality. You could put that in the wash time and time again and it'll come out looking the same.
Hopefully.
Oh, so we just bit the bullet and bought one. So now doesn't matter what we want. We can print anything on hats, jumpers, t-shirts, like whatever.
That's amazing.
If
That's
you want any merch
money.
making, come to us. But it's just
Bumper
like
stickers.
No, it's like good
It
to
means
invest
now-
in something like that.
every
Yeah,
song
yeah,
we do, and it doesn't mean we have to bulk buy 50 in a load of sizes that are never going to go. It means that so we get a merch order in on the store. I want a quadruple XL t-shirt with this design, and I want my name on the back. It's like, hey presto,
Yeah,
yes.
you've got it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, now you've done it. That's custom Novustory merch.
Yeah.
But
Can you
it's
put my
really
name on
nice
it?
as well to be able to like make it and
Yeah, of course.
everything. Yeah.
So it's just like it's just things like that. It's like I feel like that's not what sets the not men from the boys or women from the girls. Like, but do you know what I mean? It just sets you apart maybe
Sets you apart
a little
from the
bit.
other bands, yeah.
My favourite
It
part
gives
about
it a personal touch.
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
There we
feel
go.
like a connection.
That's
more
a much
with
less
fans.
offensive way of putting it. Where I just like I'm trampling all the other bands who haven't done that. I didn't mean it like that. but-
Making more of
the
a
best
connection.
part about
Yeah.
that story though is that makes it sound like we all sat down and discussed it and then a printer was bought.
No.
You just rang us.
happened.
Imogen just rang us and went, yes, so you don't need to worry about the merch anymore. Because I
There was
bought
7 seconds left to go on the eBay auction.
Is that what it was?
I had a choice to make and very little time to make it.
I've thought about
we
this
saved thousands
For 7
on that.
seconds.
I've thought about this for a good 3 minutes and I've decided merch, yes, I own.
Yeah,
I am
that's the
merch.
thing. It's an investment, isn't it?
Look at the
It's like-
merchandise.
it's like your Kemper,
Look
it's
at the
an
merchandise. Exactly. Well, yeah, it's
The
investment.
band
right, already.
Kemper.
The band.
Yeah, that's right.
The band's interesting. All right. Okay. All right. So we're going 4 ways on that. Yeah. You're gonna. Yeah, okay. Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah, how much do we owe you for that?
Quite. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later.
I wanted to ask next a little bit about how you guys would describe yourself, because I know a lot of the time media can be like, you're this kind of band, and it's quite frustrating, especially
your
when
sound,
you have an
yeah.
idea of, you know. So
Oh no.
how would you describe your genre, and like what bands would you say if people like, you know, for fans of blah blah
Yes.
blah? Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yes, next question.
Is that a band?
Yes, the
Look
band.
up yes.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, yeah,
I,
yes, is a band.
I really don't think you can pigeonhole us.
No, don't do that again.
It's not really just one genre.
I think
Anything, it's more of a feeling, you know. It's like a taste, a flavour.
What flavour would you describe yourself as then?
Go on.
like cheese and onion.
If it was gonna choose, it would be a bleep.
Why cheese and onion?
We have a very aubergine flavour.
Oh, you know that shows how boring you are. All the flavours of crisps, and you went for cheese. You went for the first one, Ben. The first flavour, cheese and onion.
I think
No,
we're like, do you know them?
Marmite, no, no.
Do you remember Knick Knacks?
Yeah.
But scampy flavour.
Weirdly, yes. And no,
Do you remember being bored as a child?
Some people hated them and some people loved them.
Yeah.
I feel like
But
we're
that's
there.
not. People don't love or hate us.
That's horrific but amazing.
I think I like fans describing, you know, our sound
Yeah.
and the way we are, because
What fan- like,
because
what
I
kind of fans
always
is that?
struggle with it.
What
And
fans
I also. What fans?
Say what?
Thanks.
Yeah.
What fans have described you? And I have to say what have fans
What have fans
described
described?
Well, Jeff, 27, described it as rubbish.
Yeah, has anyone come up to you and said,
I'll do this.
We've broken the interviewer.
You've broken Freya?
Broken her.
Jeez.
Oh, please.
Anyway, has anyone come up to you guys and,
Yes.
and said
Yes.
something like, "Oh, you remind me of"?
You know
All the
what?
time.
No.
Evanescence, even.
Yeah,
Just
Evanescence.
because I'm female.
Just because yeah.
We get Paramore a lot, which I don't think is.
Again, just
Yeah,
because
again,
I'm
just 'cause
female.
female
Female rock,
fronted.
Paramore.
It's like,
Royal
it's
Blood
the
and-
first, like, they're thinking of what's the first female-fronted band I
Yeah.
can think of
That
off
you
the top
can
of my
think of,
head.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're really like.
Well,
known
Yonica,
for
and I
that.
actually agree with that, because they're kind of
Yeah.
rock, like heavy synthy, power.
Somebody
fronted.
said Enter Shikari once, which is which I'm not too sure I agree with, but it's still interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because we've got so many influences and so many.
We all read
things in the band. That...
I know bands always say like, "Oh, we're just a collection of loads of different influences," but it really is,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Metallica, Nina Simone, Jimi Hendrix, James loves Muse. Like,
what's the Lizzie Hale?
Oh, Hailstorm.
Yeah,
Hailstorm.
We've had
Yeah,
that.
we get
We've had
that.
But I'm thinking more of your
just that-
vocals, really.
Yeah.
I suppose that's
Katie Tunstall.
Pavarotti.
That's more along with
That guy off the Golf and Pear advert.
From Rammstein. Till Lindemann, love you. No, but it really is a massive collection of influences. Like, I listen to everything from Hans Zimmer to really, really heavy metal.
Yeah.
And then you've got a massive collection of
James loves
music.
like
stuff as well.
Yeah, like James loves really kind of raw white stripesy kind of recordings and stuff like that. But I love my really heavily auto-tuned Owl City pop vocals. So together we are. But like together.
Ben
it's
is
kind
basically Total Guitar magazine.
I'm a walking Total Guitar magazine.
So you're bringing together all the best elements of
yeah.
every genre of music.
James is just my first drum set, isn't it?
My first drum set.
He said that we were recording, and James was doing some
my
fills,
God.
and Chris was like, "Yeah, I'm just not feeling it with those fills." And James was like, "Well, what's wrong with them?" And Chris was like, "It just sounds like my first drum kit."
I actually said my first drum lesson.
Yeah. And James was just like, "Okay."
So
To set the record straight,
so that's-
it's because in a little bit of a song, I think what he actually did in the end was right for the song. But in the time, I wanted this like Motley Crue, big like 80s drum fill, you know, the stupid throw the kitchen sink down the stairs kind of thing. And that's not him as a drummer, that's not the style drumming he plays.
And it
But it worked fine. It worked fine. But we do that in the
about a
studio.
song, yeah.
Us going into the studio is just us in a nice way arguing for 8 hours.
It is,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Usually me
expecting that
arguing with
one,
everyone
yeah,
else.
it is,
But,
yeah.
but that's also because, like, again, it's the collection of influences. But also, I've been playing guitar and now bass for like 13 years. How long have you been a singer for?
Like a year at least.
At least it's been. This morning. Yeah. Ben is 46, so
very youthful.
He's a couple of years older than us, so naturally he is fossil. He's
old man and granddad. Big Ben. Big Ben.
And then James is a couple of years younger, so it's just like he is the baby.
He's the baby.
He is a fetus.
So
fetus
There's no in between.
Yeah.
Fetus and the fossil.
There's no.
And yeah, so
Well,
we'd just
and
like
I'm
to
like
announce
3
your
weeks
next
older
album,
than
then.
you.
we'd just like to announce our name change from Novustory to Fetus and the Fossil.
So if someone hasn't heard of you before, what song would you recommend them to listen to first that kind of best represents
Monster?
you?
Monster.
That's
Yeah,
a good- I think
Monster.
that's-
Yep, next!
Let's go, quick fire round.
Lightning round.
Well,
It's
all day, every day!
It's
Talking about Monster,
Yes.
seems like a good time to introduce the first song that you played for us in the studio. So we'll cut to that right now.
Would you believe me if I said I was wasted? I didn't even like how you kissed me just a spider drank my drink, but I couldn't even taste it. If I felt it in like this, would you think that's worth a kiss? And you took advantage, and I didn't want this. And this ain't worth the hassle. Cheating with your time, smoking, I was dazzled. I'll never make you mine. You're good, those memories are the truth. And the 1 week that I do, I'm going into you and it's the blind end. This is why I'm never out. It isn't worth the shouting and you took advantage. And I didn't want this. And this ain't worth the hassle. She ain't worth your time. You spoke and I was dazzled. I'll never make you mine. You're gone. Those memories of us. It's a beautiful story of the two of you. Now I feel sorry, but I'm not wrong. And I've been worried for far too long. You lost respect where it's not for you. If I'm the monster, you're one too.
We've just listened to Monster.
Yep.
Do you want to
Hopefully it was
talk?
good.
It was amazing.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
It's one of my favourite.
What was your
songs.
favourite part?
Ever or of all?
Can you say that straight to the camera, please?
I like the part where you...
Oh, you changed.
Before you said it's one of my favourite songs.
And I didn't finish my sentence.
Right, okay.
Bye. No, sorry.
No, honestly, it's an amazing
Yes, no,
song.
thank you. Yeah.
And
We'll push you
I was
for
wondering
anyone.
if you could tell us a little bit about what the lyrics are about and
It's basically my audition piece when you think about it.
because you were such a monster.
Yeah, because yeah.
Without going into like getting all like too deep,
Too
because I don't
in-depth.
want to lower the tone, because this has been quite fun so far.
Okay.
But it was basically, it's kind of aimed at people who have been kind of subjected to a bit of like emotional abuse, and it's basically to try and provide comfort, to say if someone's making you feel, like someone's trying to bring you down to their level and is kind of attacking you, but basically gaslighting you, it's like, I can never properly word how I'm feeling, because obviously people aren't in my head. That's why I write songs.
Apart from the lyrics.
This is why I write songs, because I can't express it in any
think I
way
know
other
what
than... Do
you
you know what I
mean.
mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of saying, look, if someone's trying to make you feel like a monster, they're probably the one that's the problem, and it's okay to say that to
that makes
them.
sense.
Obviously, the main hook in the song is like, if I'm a monster, you're one too, and that it builds up at the end. It's like, obviously, it's like quite quiet, and then it's getting a bit more, and it's bigger. And in the end, I'm almost screaming. I remember being in the studio, I was just like, I was just like screaming in the studio, because I was just like, it was like I was just like cleansing, like just fucking beeping. I was just like getting it out there. I was just, and it was just a way to
like
kind
a
of
release.
a release. That's the word.
I was going to ask about, obviously you mentioned before about how you have your own printing press and stuff. I know one of you guys, is it James that has a studio, or is it something you're collectively...
James and Imogen.
James, yeah. And obviously you make YouTube covers and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you diversify what you offer to your audience in a lot of ways that other bands don't necessarily have the chance to.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to other bands in saying, how you diversify yourself and make yourself interesting in the modern world where everyone's fighting for your attention constantly online?
I think one of the main things that a lot of bands seem to not do is kind of just be themselves on their own socials. And I think a lot of the time they see bands obviously I'm not going to name any names, but they see bands who have this kind of cool persona, quite standoffish, and they don't really. There's a lot of bands I can think of. I've never heard them giggle like a little girl, like Ben's done multiple times on this video, and it's or podcast, and it's one of them. It's people connect with people. So, and if you're in a band and you want people to connect with your music, they're going to do that more if they can. I feel they're going to do that more if they know a bit more about you as a person, or they relate with you, or
have a bit of personality.
Exactly, and it's I think a lot of bands just kind of they want the attitude before they've
got them.
Before they've connected with people. Do you know what I mean?
Creating that barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Between fans and artists,
With
and
this,
you need to break down that barrier.
And to us, the way we see it is that our fan base is actually just a big group of friends.
Yeah.
And we're all mates, and we all chat online, and we all interact online, and we have personal jokes that we've got one of our friends made a fan and friend group, and then there's. I'll invite you to it.
We're in the inner circle now for it.
Now she said
it's only £5 a month. It's great.
But
I also like edible.
Yeah,
all of them.
It's all the people in there. It's kind of we've got personal jokes that we'll post. That if someone came into the group who didn't know anything about the band, they'd
seem really weird.
What on earth does this mean? But then all these people understand it because they get the they'll make memes out of us or stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah, it is. As a small band, the most interesting thing you can document is your journey as a band, because that will be specifically unique because ours isn't the same. It's we don't record in studio, we don't go to another studio, we have our own studio, we do a lot of stuff that's DIY. Other bands don't do that. Other bands go to studios, and that's interesting to see. So many bands blow up their personas online and make them look like they're a stadium touring the U2 or something like that, and it's stop, there's already a U2. Why don't you be your
That's
thing?
what I was trying to say. People want something new all the time. They want fresh content, and they want just something new to latch onto. And if you're just trying to be the next Oasis or Kasabian, how? Like you say, there's already one of those. So why don't you just be the next you, and then people can follow that journey and whatnot. It's a journey about 90 times.
Yeah. Stop being someone else that's
journey.
taken. Someone already took that spot of being that person. Just be yourself.
And if you're going to be that person, just be like a tribute act.
If you want to be them that bad.
So if you want to be Oasis, be an Oasis.
Be an Oasis.
Yeah.
Just
I'm trying really, really hard not to mention my wannabe tribute act.
Well, you have to tell us
if you
now.
want.
You just said it in a recorded environment.
You have to be proud of me.
Can we guess it? Can we guess it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Is it,
see if you can guess what Freya wants to start a tribute act in.
Yeah, but is it somebody that looks like you?
A bit. I have looked more like her in the past.
Diana Vickers.
Oh no.
That's not an insult.
It's dying fetus, isn't it?
It is dying fetus.
She was really big in the pop punk scene in 2000s.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne tribute band. What are you going to call it? Navril Lavigne. Navril Lavigne.
Insulted already.
Avril Linguini.
Avril Terrine.
It was like Live-Een or something.
Avril Lavigne or something.
Tangerine. Scene.
Yeah, scene. Proper scene.
So look out for that one. Now Freya's committed to it on camera. It has to happen.
Get some respect.
Here he comes.
Where's the other one?
Oh,
forgot the other one.
Are you joking? We could have had him then. We could have had him. So, this is a much anticipated
drummer.
John.
This is Jet. Ringo has arrived.
James still isn't here. He's.
Whose arms
Sorry,
are
That's mine.
I wonder what. Stuff like this settee's very warm.
And welcome to the craziness.
Welcome to the podcast. James has just arrived for anyone that's watching or listening.
For all two of you.
Not that anyone cares, but the drummer's arrived.
Wait, no, he hasn't just arrived. He's just been somewhere.
Questions about the
We're gonna
band.
start. Let's start the interview now. We're on question 3.
Actually, we're on question.
Absolutely.
We're on question 6 of about
Careful. I don't want you to
about 12 or 14.
You have to talk now for the next 40
Is
minutes
Pat
to make up
fuming?
for it.
Pat, shout yes if so.
So, when I did my snooping, I saw that you did a rock cover for was it a music video for Vogue's website?
It was for Glamour.
Yes.
And,
But it was on Vogue's
I remember that.
official
Yeah,
were on
it
Glamour's
website.
official.
It was for both,
It wasn't for
wasn't it?
Vogue.
It didn't end up. It were on Glamour, and it were going to be on one or the other.
Thing,
yeah.
but I wasn't sure because I thought it was
No,
the
the
woman,
post it
the
said
woman that
Vogue.
booked us
We were
works for
commissioned
both.
to do it.
Oh, I see.
So it was like
She worked
Either
for
or.
both.
like we didn't know which one it was
Yeah.
going to
We
Right.
just did it because it was like, okay.
We were commissioned to do a song for him.
Yeah, we were commissioned
that's
to do
cool.
a song for Vogue,
wow.
and then it was for Glamour instead. But they basically wanted a rock cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh, right.
So yeah, obviously we did it, and
Awesome.
it was.
Because
why would you not do it?
We sent them the first version, didn't they? And then they were like, oh, it's a little bit too rocky for us. And I was like, right, okay. So like we re-recorded the drums and stuff, and when we did it, we like dropped bags of money and sampled it and like hit high heels against the floor and all that kind of stuff. And,
So it was
laid
just
up
like
into, the drum kit
different,
sound.
different like tones and stuff, and it
Was
was.
amazing. Is that online to listen to?
Yeah, there's a video.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
video of all the like glamour models with our like my voice.
Yeah.
is
No,
like,
we
well,
were
Like,
check it
I'm into it.
yeah,
Guys just want to have
that
fun.
sounds
My
awesome.
neighbour's story.
This is my question as a fan. Were you was that with Ben as well? Because it wasn't with me.
I
It was
was
in
in
the
the
cross-
They
band.
should invite you that day.
I was in the band.
I was unavailable that day.
when we released it.
I keep forgetting what we're talking about.
We're in an interview for her. Ask us some
Did we
questions.
answer that question?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
sorry, yeah, sorry, carry on. Quick.
But you have to cut the end of
No,
that.
I
bit
just
off
keep
as
forgetting
an
like what the
argument.
next thing is.
So I wanted to ask a question about your BBC charity thing, because I know some of you guys were involved in that this Christmas, weren't you? I actually discovered this
Yeah,
because I was sitting watching BBC Breakfast in the morning, having my coffee, and then I saw this them talk about this charity song and like the video come up for it. It's like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then later on that day, I was scrolling through my phone and saw Novustory like, oh, band members have been part of this video. I was like, wait, what? Just, it's really cool.
Oh,
I never knew
yay.
that it was you guys until.
But like literally like the day before I told you about them as well. So that
Yeah.
so
It's also
it all happened at once. It was really weird.
That is really
I didn't even know
Really
it was happening.
funny
so, yeah.
because apparently his parents were sat there. Go on, tell them.
My mum and dad were obviously just watching the news, and I
Did they
didn't.
not know?
Well, I didn't know. Like, I didn't
Oh,
know.
right.
I didn't even know any of it was going to be on
I
the
knew it
news.
was
at
going to
all.
be on a few of them, but I didn't know times or days or anything.
I
but-
had no idea at all. I know, like, you'd gone and filmed something, but that actually turned out to be for the music video, so I didn't know. Yeah, so we I didn't know it was going to be on the news at all. I didn't know there was any filming for anything to do with like the BBC or ITV. And I get a phone call from my dad, because they were both just watching the news in the morning, because they always do. And my dad was like, just yelled out in the middle of the front room, "He's on the telly!" And my mum was like, "Who's on the telly?" And she's like, "Oh, bloody son! Our son! He's on the telly!" And then they rang me, and like, loads of people blew up my phone like, "You've been on the telly!" And I'm like, "What? Oh no. What did I do?"
For those that didn't see it or haven't heard about it, do you want to tell them a little about what it was? And
Well,
what
it's more YouTube,
Yeah.
really, to be honest.
So it was basically, we own our own studio, don't we? Our own recording studio, and it was a customer that come to us with this song, and we kind of helped her build it up and used, our band members and all that kind of stuff to help her pad it out. And Chris changed a couple of things on the track and all that to try and build it up into this Christmas song. And it's done pretty damn well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's like, what is it?
The idea was that
Charted.
it was for Alderhay Children's Hospital charity, because the woman who wrote the initial version of the song, she's had I can't remember the name of it, but she's had problems with her heart. And then the woman that gave her the idea her daughter has had heart problems, and she was treated at Alderhay. So they decided to together do this song. Obviously, we worked on it, recorded it. I filmed a music video for it, and then it was the music video that was shown on the telly. Obviously, with Chris rocking out and James rocking out and stuff. So it was obviously it was good to be able to say that our band was part of that, and it got to number 36 in the iTunes download chart.
That's incredible.
It's top 40 download charts, official iTunes one. So it's like
amazing.
It's nice for the studio to be able to say that, but it's good for the band to say that we were on a track that
like doing something for a good cause.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It's like it's nice to have the facility to be able to do stuff like
power,
that.
Like know that you can actually help.
Yeah, it does feel good, and then it's nice to be able to say, well, we're in the download charts. And on TV. And on BBC News.
For good reasons.
Yeah.
Not the other
But
reasons.
you were relieved, weren't you?
I will not be telling about that.
So now it's time for another song. This is Edible.
Yes, boys. Novustory on the mic. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can I get a check, please? That is not a happy bassist. Right, game first, lads. Make up, you're my friend, you're my enemy. Stop this, don't pretend. You're everywhere I go, inside on my wall, messages you send. You're in my head, yeah, you're in my mind, oh. Tell me what's your motive, You say you make me strong, I've been weak so long. Tell me what's your motive. Something's in life never better unsaid. People's words, yeah, they go to your head, and I'm finding it hard to watch your and set sail. In this seas, I feel just like a whale. For the last time, free me from these chains, and I'll be fine. Security, see in my dreams, but you're hurting me. You build me up and then break me down again. I want to be free from your grip, yeah, I'm sinking quick. And tell me what's your motive. My issues, I'm too full, you're too damn edible. Tell me what's your motive. Something's in life never better unsaid. People's words, yeah, they go to your head, and I'm finding it hard to watch ship and set sail. In these seas, I feel just like a whale. For the last time, free me from these chains, and I'll be fine. Make up your mind. Stop this, don't pretend. Everywhere I go, messages you send. Something's in life never better unsaid. People's words, yeah, they go to your head, and I'm finding it hard to but ship and set sail. In the seas, I feel just like a whale. For the last time, free me from these chains, and I'll be fine. Just free me from these chains, and I'll be fine. I want to feel like this.
So that was Edible. Do you guys want to tell us a little bit about the track? Maybe how you went about writing it, sort of meaning behind it? So?
Yeah.
And maybe the music video.
I feel like there's quite a theme here of with our songwriting of quite hard hitting subjects with not, do you know, like
not hard hitting
videos
else.
and
Hey, they're my favourite kind of songs.
because it's like obviously the songs have deeper meaning, but we're not kind of a doom and gloom band. You know what I mean? So it's my personal experience.
It sounds happy, but when you actually sit down and read the lyrics, you're like, oh God,
like the
this is
Smiths.
like really.
Yeah, much like the Smiths.
Yeah, definitely. So, Edible.
Maybe not that bad.
Edible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus. Edible.
Sorry if you're listening.
Please
Sorry,
take out
Jim.
my
I
yes.
know you've been tuning in every week.
Jim's our biggest fan.
Yeah.
He's on next week, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's coming in next week.
I was going to say most arrogant
Jim?
thing ever then. Yeah.
Anyway, don't say whatever it was. So Edible is basically one big metaphor for the struggles that I've had with eating disorders. So without obviously, again, lowering the tone or whatever, I've struggled with quite a few different things with food.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, again, I'm a bit rubbish with words, but turning it into song is a lot easier. So I wrote a song about it, and again I remember being sat at the piano writing the chords for it and literally just like screaming the chorus.
It's like a diary, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
Writing that song was your therapy session.
Yeah, it's like
I
I was like saying "free me from these chains," and it was literally words were just like spewing out, and I was just like just like going for it at the piano. And then so Edible happened, and then we went into the studio and kind of we went to Sugar House, I think St Helens, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we kind of just like arranged it in the studio around this melody and chords that I'd written, and so that's basically where that came from. And then with the guys there, they're awesome. And then we wanted to with the video, we wanted to incorporate loads of food, and I didn't want it to come across as like we were taking the mickey, you know what I mean? The last thing I wanted is for people to think that we were kind of making a joke out of eating disorders. Everyone wants a reason to be like, that's not proper or that's not PC, and it's like we wanted it to show that it doesn't matter if you're sleeping, you're with friends, you're doing your makeup, you're in bed. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're on a date. Like all those scenarios, food is the constant thing that's tying them all together and is like you're preoccupied with. So that's where the video came from. But then the actual song, we recorded it a while back, but we held on to it because we didn't have as much kind of support as we do now, and we wanted to build up a little bit of a fan base before we released it, because we put that much work into it and we thought actually it's quite a good track, this. So we want to didn't
want it to go to waste kind of thing. You didn't want it to be overlooked and then it's too late for someone to go back.
We sat on it for such a long time, haven't we? Because we recorded it as soon as pretty much a couple of months into me joining the band.
So we released a track, it's done quite well, we've had quite a lot of streams on it. A lot better than we thought for how kind of we perceive ourselves in the industry. Thank you.
You know what, that's
we've had BBC Introducing Play, and they played it once and then he interviewed us and then he's continued to play it. It's been on Planet Rock Radio, which is like we're just hoping for BBC Radio, like
BBC
6,
love
maybe maybe BBC 6. I feel like we'd be perfect.
Smooth FM if you're listening. But that's a really good time to mention as well that all three of the tracks we brought out in the last sort of couple of months have done considerably better than we ever assumed they would. But I remember when we brought out Denial, which is like the first song the band had brought out for is it 2 years, 3 years? So it's a long time for like an unsigned band. I just happened to be at Imogen and James's house, and we got to 1,000 streams in 24 hours, and we acted like we'd won a Grammy. We opened a bottle of champagne and everything.
We were drinking champagne, £30 bottle of champagne. James's parents had got James a bottle of champagne for his graduation, and he'd just not touched it, and we were just like, perfect opportunity.
I would like 1,000 streams because we were like, look, if it gets 1,000 streams in like a week,
we're
happy with
our goal was if it gets to 1,000 in a week, that was our chart of success.
We
and it did like 5,000 in a week.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah.
And then Monster
did it in a day.
It grew. It
was edible. 5,000 in a day.
10,000 in about 10 days, and then when we released edible this time, that hit 10,000 in a week, and then we were like, if we can, we'll release the music video when we get to 15,000, and then everyone started streaming it then, and then we obviously released the video and stuff. But
it must be such a nice feeling to like realise that you're actually bigger than you thought you were.
Yeah, but we don't want it to go to our head.
Amazing.
It's always
a bit scary.
It's actually quite terrifying.
What, like that? It's your fake class.
What do you guys think?
Why?
Oh, the streams.
Yeah.
Oh, the streams are terrifying.
Yeah,
I get scared. I don't
It's
want
exciting,
any.
but it's
any.
scary.
You don't want any. We're cutting that out. Don't give us any streams. No, don't listen to our music.
Because it's like, I don't know. It's like we put a lot of thought into everything that we did before we started releasing stuff.
A lot of thought.
And now we're getting those kind of numbers. It's made me even worse. And I'm like,
why?
it's gotta be perfect.
I see what you mean.
I see what you mean.
Because before there was like
pressure.
no pressure on it. It was like,
I
see.
I know there still isn't.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is because like we've had those figures, even if we get the same figures as we did on Denial, which would be incredible, like 1,000 streams in 24 hours.
Yeah, just think because we're ahead of we're ahead of what we're expecting.
So
at the moment.
it's now like right, we've got to nail it.
It's funny
That's
though,
what it's
isn't
like
it?
in my head.
Do you not think it's funny how like
okay.
you think that if we could get this on this, I'd be happy, but then the next time you surpass
That's
that,
even life.
and then
That's
it's
life in
like
general.
if we could just get this on this,
That's
I'd be
life,
happy,
yeah.
but then you're never happy. Slow.
That's a good answer.
We are very happy with the streams.
Just to clarify.
Just in case you haven't realised.
Awesome.
Questions, come on.
I wanted to chat about your endorsements because I know you're endorsed by DR Drums and Vocal Zone as well, which is really cool. I was wondering if you had
And now Low Life League clothes.
Oh yeah.
no like leaving. What's that then?
It's
Like an
see that.
alternative.
A unique indie clothing brand based out of Liverpool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
they've got some really smart clothes, but the best bit about it is we actually really like the clothes. So it's perfect. It's like the skulls.
So it really helps.
No, there's stuff with skulls on for me, and there's tie-dye stuff for James, and it's like eventually when we go on tour, it'd be great if we could all be kitted out Low Life League.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm quite a party as well. So
This is painfully
No.
close to that bit in Wayne's World. When Garth's head to toe in Puma gear. I just think that people will do anything for money. I can't think about this, I've got a headache.
Were the endorsements something that you guys searched out yourself, or was it something where they came to you?
DR Drums came to you, didn't they?
Well, it was a bit of it's a bit of both because
No, they definitely came to you.
They came to
us
specifically.
It came through someone else, didn't it?
It was Ben. It came through Ben.
It came through someone
I
else.
have connections in the I don't know.
It came through Joe.
Why are you like saying it like he's
Why-
not
why-
listening?
Into this pissing microphone.
You imbecile.
Is it something that we're not supposed to know?
No.
No,
Oh, they can't know.
He just knows how listen if he name drops.
Yeah, exactly. This is the problem.
It's
Yeah,
because
but you can name drop on film to everybody else.
You can cut it out if you want.
So
Don't worry.
basically, I know Richard Jupp, the former drummer of Elbow.
Oh, we've spoken to him.
We've spoken to
Yeah, I
him.
believe he's done some stuff here.
Yeah.
Well, he started off
James,
with me
you
having
dropped
some
your
lessons.
name.
He started off with me having some lessons with him, and we're both from the same village, and we're both drummers, and both into similar kinds of music. And
You were both in Elbow.
Well, we both went to the same primary schools, high schools, and colleges
At the same time.
No,
Amazing.
like 20 years apart.
He was so
He
well.
was teaching at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Joe.
So it was kind of just like pretty similar and getting on and all that kind of stuff. And then he had a DR endorsement. And obviously, like, I went round to his house, and I actually ended up building a shed in his back garden for him to like play.
Talk about that shed.
Yeah, I built it.
Yeah.
This is weird now.
It's weird because it's all intermingling.
Yeah.
This is
So the shed in his back
we're trying to infiltrate you.
And then went round a while after and had a go on his kit and played on his DR snare, and I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. I need one. And he was like, right, let me talk to Danny for you.
Oh,
so he
amazing.
put me in touch with Danny. And
He's such a nice guy, isn't he?
So your advice to bands is no Richard Jupp.
Our advice to bands is just be a nice person because you never know what's going to lead to what.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't be arrogant and ignorant, and just like get on with people and have good personal hygiene as well.
And the thing is, as well, it's like
Just to throw that in there.
it's like I had his number in my phone for about 5 years before anything came off it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are some people that just like get close to someone like that and just expect stuff straight away.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's completely wrong attitude. It's like you should be getting close to them.
Now Jupp's going to watch this because he's obviously going to watch it. Hi, Jupp. And he's going to think that you've used it.
No, obviously,
Because you
obviously
have.
not. Like,
No.
You know how it is. It's like
You built up that friendship
built that
over
friendship.
5 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
You didn't meet him in a pub and say, hey,
No. And
Can I have a snare,
like,
please?
Give me your snare.
give me your snare.
And it's like when I had the first.
Do
first drum
Arnie. I want your snare, your boots and your motorcycle. Give me your
Clothes, your boots, and your snare drum.
Come on! Get to the snare drum! Paradiddles! Come on! You know! Sorry, James, carry on. No!
You've ruined Freya. She's usually so
That's what I'm saying.
composed.
Every time you do a joke, I'm just like,
What happened in France?
It's like the fishing trip in Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, we should do the. No, we said. No, we mentioned that, okay?
So, do you want to tell us a bit about your experience in Europe on your European tour?
yeah.
Did you have a good time? Where did you go?
Basically, we want to do all the things that the big bands do, but we don't want to wait until a record label signs us.
Dr. Evil, isn't she? With her
Lasers.
Bands. All the big bands.
We want to do the stuff that the big bands do, but we're not gonna sit around and wait for a label to come and pick us up before we go and do all those things. So it's kind of like we want to go to Europe, we want to tour. If everyone says
Did you say the Europe?
we want to go to the Europe. Everyone
We're off to
says
see the Europe. The wonderful Europe of ours.
that's a very on point.
That is a very on point. The wonderful Europe of ours.
Yeah,
It's
Ben
like the
put in
size
a
of
Wizard of
Europe
Oz
is-
reference. Interesting.
That is
I like
strange,
it.
yeah.
Oh, I was
weird,
thinking of
but
the
cool.
size of
Yeah.
Europe is burning in Australia.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, Belgium is on
That's
fire.
why.
Let's not bring it down, Freya. Come on.
I know, why am I bringing this down?
But basically, so we wanted to go. Everyone was saying, oh, your music would go down so well in Belgium and France, and it was like, okay, well, we'll go then. So we've been over the past 3 years. Instead of doing UK tours, we've never actually done a proper UK tour. We've done gigs all over the UK, but we've never properly done a tour. But we've done like 3 European ones. So
Yeah, I saw you've been a lot.
3 years ago we went and we went and gigged in France. We did a festival in France. We went up and did.
You did Italy as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Switzerland?
We did a gig
Oh, no.
in Belgium,
drove
and then we
through
drove
Switzerland.
through the Swiss mountains. Got arrested. Got apprehended. Apprehended. Bit of a difference by Swiss police because they thought we were trying to avoid the motorway tolls, so we were taking like the back roads. And we went on like a smuggling route. Without realising.
Honestly, it was a piece of tarmac that went through a field that was literally just wide enough for the car to drive on, and that they must have cameras on it or something, because as soon as we dropped down into the first
They were on
town,
us, weren't they?
were waiting there for us, like
Like
stood in the middle of
flies
the road.
to beat.
Like
Honestly,
surveilling.
they were waiting for us,
Yeah.
and then
Oh my
they
God.
pulled us over, didn't they? And they were like, I wound my window down, and the only officer there, there was only one officer there that spoke English.
Yeah.
So she came over and she went, like, what are you doing? And we were just like, well, we're in a rock band. And as soon as I said that, she went, right, come on, we're taking you to the station.
Like they presumed we'd have something on
Yeah.
us because little did they know we are the most boring band. We did not take drugs.
What had actually happened is James had a slip of the tongue and he'd said, we're a crack band. and they were like, right, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Polyvoo meth dealer?
Do you speak
Polyvoo,
No, we got the bigger king.
No. This last year we did.
It's France.
Yeah.
We did a smaller one, didn't we?
We did a smaller one, but we filmed a music video there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Denial, didn't we?
And the year before, we went to Amsterdam and went to France again, and we did Belgium. And our videographer, Nathan, who is like our best friend / videographer, who's done the last 3 music videos and a few of our vlogs and stuff, he's followed us on the whole tour. And then he did it again this year.
Thanks for that 50 quid, Nathan.
And then this year we just did France, so we stayed in the same town and just kind of like went round, stayed in an
Zipped
Airbnb
around that area.
and we did some master classes at schools with children and stuff.
Which
and
worked well because we broke down.
Yeah,
in
we
said
broke
town.
down and we literally pulled. We did this like 24-hour journey, pulled down the drive to this Airbnb and broke down. So we were lucky.
Lucky is the word you're
But
looking
then we
for.
really struggled to get the parts and everything, and we put a call out online like, look, we're really in the beep right now.
No.
Like, please help us. And then people bought 500 quid's worth of merch within like 3 days.
It was
Bailed us out.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
I know it was. We were shocked as well. We thought we'd
What
make a
would
tenner.
we have done if we were halfway there?
We
We'd
would
have had
been
to turn
absolutely
Push it.
good. Yeah.
Well, we're going south, aren't we? So it's all downhill.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, that's
Fit
true.
with James.
That's true. On the way
I
down,
thought
it
you're
was
the
miles per
youngest
gallon, like 150.
one in the band.
And then on the way
James,
back, it was 12.
No, James, that's not correct because the world's flat. So.
Oh no, we've got a flat world theorist in here.
We are basically the tours. It's kind of like 10% gigging and then 90%. All 4 of us just screaming with laughter because our
Sitting
humours are
around
so
having fun.
weird.
Eating bread.
I think one of the funniest things that happened on the tour just gone
Don't say it.
was the
Don't
fact
say it.
fact that when
You're not going to mention that, are you?
stop it.
I will
The fishing
sue you.
trip. The fishing trip.
was when we so basically I'm the only one insured on the car, so I was like I had to do all the driving for 24 hours straight,
Which you wanted to do.
I wanted to
Just
do.
to
I
clarify.
enjoy it. I
Saved
enjoy it because
money
then
though
I
as
have
well, so
bragging
carry
rights
on.
for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Also, it means that I get an easier ride when next I don't have to do any of the washing up or out like that.
Gets to mention
So-
it in videos.
Rather
anyway,
do the
but
driving.
I'd rather do the driving.
I got you.
So these lot took it in turns, swapping seats. So then some of them in the back could sleep while whoever was sat next to me could
With
keep me
him,
awake.
stay awake, yeah.
Yeah, until he sits in the seat.
Interesting. Here we
He's
go.
awake
Let's
the
see.
entire time until he sits in the front seat. The second his backside touches that cloth, he's out like a light bulb. and then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I've not had any sleep. I'm tired." It's like, "You're tired. I'm driving, mate."
But the funniest part about that, apart from it not being true, is just I don't know what happened because I was wide awake.
You were literally like, yeah, I just need a coffee.
I had 4 cups of coffee on the ferry in 15 minutes.
Oh, we know. You were peeing 10 minutes into the journey.
Oh.
We had to pull over for him, go to the toilet.
set off at
10
my
minutes. We were still in Bury.
Can we just get a keyboard player so we can bully that person instead?
We set off and we were like, right, we've got a 24-hour journey ahead of us. We are doing this in one stint.
Have you been to the bathroom?
I'm like a mum to everyone, so I was like, have you been to the bathroom? Everyone, yes.
Everybody got a
10
wee
minutes in.
and a poo.
Are we stopping anytime soon? It's like, no!
It was the first services away from my house that we had to stop at because he needed a whiz.
I am a very hydrated man. I will not compromise on the health of my kids.
On your proudest
for
qualities.
anyone.
Got all the
Absolutely.
stuff going out here,
Yeah.
in and out.
So it's time for the last song from Novustory, and this is your newest single, isn't it? This
Yeah.
is Fall.
Yeah.
How did you think this little day leaves behind? We'd all just stay friends. And then the hit with the crease, you pick up the pieces, feel like a legend, act like a child. And then we're on the attack, you come crawling back, you just can't blame us, look what you've caused again. man who hates themselves. Hey, this was probably the best thing you've ever done. Don't let me get toxic for everyone. Free from the love we are right. We wanna be born now. We're not chasing. You can see the signs, all you left behind. Wanna fool you all. We are right. We wanna be. Who do you think you are? This isn't okay, it's gone too far. What in the hell do you take me for? Running, free from you. Oh, we are up, we wanna be more now. We're not chasing. You can see the signs, all you left behind. Wanna fool you all, we are up, we wanna free from you. We are up, we wanna free from now. We're not chasing. You can see the signs, all you left behind. Wanna fool you all, we are up, we wanna be.
And that was Fool.
Good, wasn't it?
It
was great.
Really
That's good, innit?
Really good. That sounds
Oh my god, it
was good. Literally indescribable.
Do you want to tell us about the music and words in the song?
We should do actually. It's a good idea.
I don't know if I do.
So
Fool
basically,
is about.
It's a secret.
Is
If
it
you're-
deeper than...
It's
the
not
other
as deep.
deeper
It's
ones?
just about like losing friendships. That's all I'm really.
Oh man, these are all like
That is
things in my
literally-
Yeah.
life.
It's
Yeah.
just
You-
it's just
Into the
about.
deep,
Yeah.
dark things in my
Yeah.
life here.
We need to write some happier
Oh.
songs, mate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
probably.
be.
It's part
Yeah.
growing up though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's literally just like all experience.
Yeah.
But out of these, if you use music as therapy, out of these bad experiences comes songs. So it's grammar. Like
So have the bad experiences.
yeah, so it's like
Have a horrible childhood. and
Yeah,
then-
so if you're happy,
maybe one day.
if you enjoy life, you're happy, you'll get nowhere
It's
as a
the same
musician.
with heroes. All heroes is like parents
Absolutely,
are
yeah,
dead,
absolutely,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
Great
who'd wanna be
people,
a hero?
So you're saying that my
Bonnie
parents need
Tyler.
to die for me to make it in the industry? You're a bad person.
No, sorry, that's...
No, to make it in
that
the
only
hero,
applies-
the
that only
hero
applies to
industry.
Oh right, okay. So I'm
Your
not
parents
just
need to die to get
superhero.
superpowers.
Oh, I see what you mean.
No idea what I'm trying to say. Please ignore me. Back to you.
But yeah, basically that's it. Without,
Yeah, that's what the
I
song's
obviously I
about,
don't want to
without
give away
going
too
in depth.
much
Yes. Yeah.
because I don't want to upset
Name
the
names.
person who it's about.
Oh, okay.
Who
Well,
it may or may
don't-
not be
don't worry.
about.
We
Sorry,
We'll leave it at that then.
Yeah,
shall leave it at that.
but yeah, lost
Okay.
friendships.
So it's time for our favourite part of the
Wait.
podcast.
When are we doing that joke though? Because we do our little like weird wave at the end.
Oh, don't worry about the weird waves.
Oh, okay.
don't worry.
Is anybody still going to be listening at this point? We've been talking for like 3 hours.
Well, it's been edited.
If you can get this down to under 30 minutes, I'll be so impressed.
Right, so this is 5 in 5.
5 in 5.
Way this works is we've got 5 questions. You have 5 seconds to answer each one.
All
Well,
of us.
5 seconds to confer, and then you have to give us an answer.
That is going to
Okay,
go
you ready,
so
guys?
badly.
It's going to go badly. It's going to go very badly.
I know
If
it's that. I
it's
know
an
it's that-
opinionated answer, this is going to go awful.
All the questions are based on your band,
Is it
so
fact?
it's
Right, so
all
it's not-
facts.
it's not opinion.
It's not
Alright then,
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, we'll start.
So
No,
I'm
it's
right
a
then.
fact, there's a right answer to it, and then there's the wrong answer.
So
We all
Music
think
is
our-
subjective.
We all think our opinions are facts, though. So this is the
Oh,
wrong.
man.
That's just you. That's just you.
Oh, James Duckworth. James Duckworth. You absolutely do.
Right, okay, so first question. So we've spoken about you've got the Vocal Zone endorsement. In your post about it on Instagram in July 2018,
2018.
what flavours did you show in the picture?
Look at the blackcurrant one.
Blackcurrant and all three flavours.
What
The
about
red.
the yellow one?
Yeah, it was the
Time.
yellow one, the red one, and the
Reading
green
answer.
one.
So we need
no.
your answer now.
Purple.
So blackcurrant
Green.
original.
It's
and
not colours, it was just the
flavours.
flavours.
Ben's got it, go.
Right, so original, blackcurrant, and
Honey and lemon.
honey and lemon.
I can't see it.
You should have found out what they were
It's
before we
red, yellow, and purple.
Yeah, she's not asking for the colours, she's
So
asking for the
yeah, but
flavours.
Actually, you've got that right, and bonus point is colours, so you can answer.
Oh!
It's because it was us three, and we're stood and
Smashing
we're
it
on
already.
tour. I've got pink hair.
I remember that. Yeah.
So
'Cause I
what
remember on the yellow.
colour was what flavour?
So red's
the yellow-
original.
Red's
Yeah.
original,
Yeah.
purple's blackcurrant, and then honey and lemon's the yellow one.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I remember
Well
that, yeah.
done, you've done really well.
Yes, Vocazone!
You like that?
Oh, you like that?
You've got a good start. Yeah. Second question.
Oh.
What was your first Facebook post about?
Oh my god.
You
Time.
sing it? You sing it? You sing it?
World
guess.
World Meet Ben.
No.
No,
No.
Because
Oh.
we started.
Was it-
started again after. I went back and deleted everything, so I don't know.
Oh.
So it would be what the
It'd be-
first
it'd be
Facebook
Vogue.
post is available.
Is available.
It's
Is it-
actually your go home video.
Oh, because you want to go back and
because you
delete
probably
that
didn't get rid of that one.
That's embarrassing.
Can I just make a statement that the question was not correct?
Oh my god,
Was not
Ben.
correctly.
I'm sorry, is this your podcast, man?
This is Ben trying to scrounge
it
some
was-
extra
it was-
points.
It was
What?
what
It
we
was-
perceived.
It was
as
what
Facebook
was
post.
available, not the first post, because that
Yeah.
would have been way before I was even in the band.
Yeah, exactly. So I really didn't
In
like
fact,
the
it was
question.
Oh
all
my god.
Alright. Wait, no, I didn't say
Patrice,
it.
stop the tape.
Even when you said which one available, we didn't get the right answer from them. So.
Yeah, but
That's
then
a
we
point,
needed
to be
5
fair.
seconds after you said the correct question.
So
Scrap all that then, that's fine.
That post, the go home video, what date was it posted
7th of December.
on? The year?
What?
The year as well?
2000.
Time.
18.
No,
It can't be 18.
2017.
She
2016.
just told you.
What?
She told you before.
No, it can't be 18.
2016. No, 2017.
No.
Need an answer.
What's the answer?
Go for it.
Go.
Guess.
Go.
Launch a number out there.
2017.
16.
17
16.
final answer.
2016.
What was the date again?
I think I've got it wrong.
You
I
said
said 7th of
7th of
December.
December 20...
You're so close.
13th of December.
Oh my god, stop.
1, 2,
12th of
3, 4,
December.
5.
2017,
Oh, well done.
February the 12th.
Oh.
Remotely close.
That's not fair.
Why'd you get a hope something like that?
Because I'm me. Anyway, third question. It's just a bit of fun, okay? Remember, it's
Yes.
It's not just a bit of fun, it's a competition.
Cauliflower is traditional.
Why? You just set us back another 20 minutes.
my question. Don't touch my book. Anyway, third question. In the video for Monster,
Oh.
what t-shirt was James wearing?
Your
Easy.
white one that says
Oh,
In
yeah.
my defence, I
in
was
my
left
defence I was left
unsupervised.
unattended.
Unattended.
Shit.
Time.
It's that, isn't it?
Wait.
We need a final answer from you.
It
know
was
what?
In my defence.
No, it's not, because what's the t-shirt with the Union Jack on it?
Yeah, it's no.
NATO!
No, it's
The
not.
announcer,
It's
they were
the
comparing.
the NATO triangle. So it's like a V upside down with a Union Jack on one side, and it's got Forswear with a gas mask on the other.
And
Incorrect.
that's all there is on that t-shirt.
That's all there is on that t-shirt.
No, it was in my defence. It was like,
Oh my
Unsupervised.
Why did you say Union Jack? I'm so annoyed.
Because that was on the
both the
t-shirt.
same. They're both by the same company.
I like the t-shirt though.
They've got the same
The
thing.
fact that we got it right,
you're gonna
though.
get that.
You got it right.
Sorry,
and then
sorry.
you second guessed it. and Now we've got
I
it
don't know why I
wrong.
put that. You got it right. I didn't do it.
By the way, it was really hard for us to read what said.
We had to keep pausing the video.
Was
so
it-
you could have done it.
Yeah, was it unsupervised or unattended?
It's unsupervised.
Okay,
that's
so we
what
got
we
it right. We
got.
got it
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I'm so
Oh, I'm
annoyed.
so
upset.
upset for you.
It's alright, come
I
on.
actually want to
Sorry.
get that one.
No, we can't.
Because we'd already said it, you can just cut it after.
You
you
did
said it.
That's
say
the name of the game.
unattended, though.
Question 4.
Four. So, you supported Dream State in July 2017. I saw. What was the name of the promotions company?
Oh my god. It was at the Alma Inn and it was with Matt Seddon. And I can't remember
what's Matt's thing. I know Matt, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We need that now.
Whichever answer comes out next, we've got to accept.
I can't remember. It's Matt Seddon Promotions because he deserves that name.
That has to be a final answer.
No,
unfortunately not. It's
You
Alma
are going to
Promotions.
kick... I wanted to say it. You're going to kick yourself. It's Alma Promotions.
Alma Promotions.
Alma
Oh,
Promotions.
his thing's not called that now though, so that's why.
And even though I said Alma Inn, I don't get it. This is so upsetting.
I know, I was thinking that. I was like, she's got it. She's got it. So, on your Instagram post about the launch of Edible, how many spaghetti hoops does Imogen have on her face?
Oh my god.
To the actual number.
Yes.
On
this specific post on this picture,
like
time.
the skin of your face. Just
You cheat! You cheat!
James cannot answer this question
Just
now.
tried to, it didn't open.
How is he going to count that many anyway?
50.
It's not even going to be 50.
50.
I haven't got a clue.
7.
How-
There's
you
not
know
that
what?
many.
Give me a final
There's
answer.
a few round
What's
You know what? In all seriousness, how
Thir-
did you think we get that?
37.
No,
15.
unfortunately not.
14.
The answer is 5.
You've got 5.
It was just 5 on your face.
I hate you.
They were also around your head.
Hold on, the bonus point.
It's all over
What's
your
the
face.
bonus point?
That explains how many spaghetti hoops
On a
along your hairline.
This quiz is rubbish.
7.
18,000.
You need to think about that.
7. How do we need to
Time.
think about it?
It's like
How literally do we need to think?
It's not 7, it's
memory.
5 again.
Oh.
How did you not get that?
They're on your face, Imogen.
Individual things on your face.
so upset.
Nathan would have got that because he super glued every one.
Do you wanna say how many points they got on?
Well, it was
quiz?
2, so there you go.
I'm really worried about them attacking me.
You know,
Is it
it
2
doesn't
out of
matter
5?
anyway.
It doesn't
We
matter.
didn't want to win anyway. It don't matter. It's only a game.
Hold on, guys. Have we got the lowest score?
Oh yeah.
No.
Not even got that
What
prize.
is the
Are we a
point?
healthy medium?
Yeah, around that. To be fair, most people got between 2
Are we
and
the
4.
most average band you've ever had?
No, we do.
In
Some of the
personality,
fruit.
no.
Oscar did say this
But
was
in
the
music.
funniest interview
But in
Yeah.
music, no.
It's
that
only
was
the
before
longest
you
one we've
came,
ever
so-
done.
Yeah, I've
You're
got
definitely not.
I told you. I
Yeah.
told you this would be a long one.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before you go? Any-
Only
Go
our
listen to all
guitars to
our
play the
music.
song.
Oh my god.
Please listen
Sorry,
to all
let me
our
get
songs.
that joke
If
in.
you found this, you're not funny. If you found this entertaining in any way, please go and Spotify us. That's it. Follow us on Spotify. Oh my god, I can't speak. Follow us on Spotify. Like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
YouTube.
And keep up to date with our journey.
Jigs.
Check out DR, Vocal Zone, and Low Life League.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much, guys, and
for
we'll
having
see you guys soon. Wave
Thank
goodbye
you.
to the camera. This way.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Love you, bye.
You're not doing one of the Novustory out.
Oh, Novustory out.
We end every vlog with this.
He ends every vlog with this. Are you ready? Novustory out.
A double. He's done a double.
It's done him!